Just don't say it's love. You know it ain't sweet enough. Just don't say it's love.
Hey, welcome back everybody. Episode 3. We got I just want y'all to take a look at this. I just ran across it. It's an interview with this guy, Clay Morris, and he's going to be interviewing a former elite special sniper by the name of Dallas Alexander. And I just want to see and show y'all the different points that he's making from his actual take on it since he has experience in that type of background. So we're gonna get into it, and then we're gonna have some questions throughout this, and at the end of it, um, to try to see if we can actually get down to the bottom of this and try to figure out, was it just them being complacent, not knowing, or was it uh, lack of assets on the ground? So let's just get into it.
Shooter act alone? The man who tried to assassinate President Trump, was he acting as a lone wolf or did he have help? Our next guest says there's simply no way that he acted alone. Our next guest is Dallas Alexander, spent nearly 20 years as an elite sniper in the military and the special forces, and has gone viral over the past 24 hours with his comments on social media about acting alone or acting with help. And Dallas joins us now. Dallas, great to have you here on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me.
So your video, of course, where you said, I want to get into this and I want to make a statement about this. Can you just walk us through why you decided to speak out and what you think happened?
Yeah, I was just getting a lot of questions about it. I'm a country singer now, but I spent, like you said, a lot of time in the special operations world. And this type of operation was part of our job. So close protection and securing VIPs up to and including the Prime Minister. I'm from Canada. We protect him in Afghanistan and Iraq. So I'm very familiar with all this stuff, as well as being a sniper for almost 14 years, I guess. It just, when I saw this video, immediately, it was very fishy to me that specific rooftop was not covered. Like, there should not be a blind spot on a rooftop that's within 150 to 200 yards of the president or former president of the United States. I was actually out, and I just saw the picture on the screen come up. I couldn't really even hear what the particular news channel was saying, but immediately, just from seeing the aerial photo, I'm like, that roof and the water tower would be the first two things that you look at and make sure are secure. And I
Guys, I didn't actually know that there was a additional spot, which is the water tower. I actually didn't know about that because the aerial footage that I was looking at, there was two additional buildings that weren't covered by the Secret Service snipers. Um, so I'm just getting used to this. So whenever I'm more advanced, I'm gonna try to get some pics and stuff up there to show y'all and stuff like that. But right now, I'm just working with what I got. So just bear with me. Um, but from what I have seen, there was an actual ladder that was supposedly attached to the building. So a lot of people were saying that the ladder was actually brought there. No, that ladder was attached to that building. And another a question I have is that if there was a ladder attached to a building, uh, why wasn't there a post there where that ladder was? Um, why wasn't that part sectioned off, basically, where there wouldn't be any access to actually get up the ladder? Is a question I would have, you know.
and I feel like just even a child that plays Call of Duty would know that.
Right. A child that plays Fortnite would know that, right? You're being sniped from an area. Look for the high ground. Look for those particular spots. We now know NBC News just a few minutes ago confirmed that, in fact, according to the Secret Service, that rooftop spot was an area of, quote, concern for them days ahead of time. So this had been identified as a problem.
Okay, so this is the shot that I want you to notice. So if you see the line in the middle of those buildings, in the middle of a building or whatever, that's where it's gonna start to slope at. So he's crawling up the back side of that slope, and if you see the symbol where it says Trump at, his protection detail snipers are actually on the building behind him. Okay, so if he was doing kind of like a belly crawl, I don't think they would actually be able to see him until he set up to actually get his gun stationed and ready to shoot. And I'm just talking about the snipers. I'm not talking about the people on the ground or anything like that. So,
Problem spot days ahead of time. So as a sniper, I mean, what do you make of that?
I mean, just to hear them say it, it's absurd. It's so incredibly obvious. Like, yes, it's at a range that you can just zero your rifle at, and there's a slope that makes the approach hidden for a shooter to crest over top and have clear aim at where Donald Trump is speaking. It makes absolutely no sense. And then for that to even be a news title is, yeah, it's the most obvious threat spot.
So, can you walk me through as a sniper what you're looking for in those moments, and when you saw this layout, I mean, what stood out to you? Like the two snipers that had their scopes, they're aimed at that particular spot for upwards of 3 minutes. They had them in their sights. Can you walk me through as a sniper what you would have been looking at?
okay, so the thing too is from the news that I'm getting is that Trump's detail was actually thin. His security detail was thin, even though he asked to have it beefed up, and it was actually denied by the Biden administration. So that's probably why they had most of their assets on the ground, and those two snipers probably were the only two that they did have on that detail, is probably what I'm thinking. So maybe they didn't have enough assets to cover or to be able to be on that actual rooftop also, which which I would think is a real concern. And even the water tower that he was talking about, um, if the security was like it was supposed to be, I would think that they would have someone up there also. So,
Yeah, so from their position, I'm assuming they were seeing him slowly kind of crest over the top of that because it looked like it was sloped away from them in the back, which covered his approach, up until his gun would have been over top and pointed out. So they were probably watching slowly to crest. And I'm sure they were looking to see if they could identify a gun or not. I think I heard something about there was some waiting for permission to fire as well. I don't know how that all works. Like, I'm not 100% sure on the rules of engagement and how they work between Secret Service and local police or anything like that. But he would have had him in his sight. I actually found the reaction a little bit strange because if you're looking at a target ready to shoot for that long, the only thing once you know the range, the only thing you're thinking about is like, when am I pulling this trigger and has my wind call changed, essentially.
so what he's talking about is their standard ROE, which is rules of engagement. I mean, because just because they see a person, they can't necessarily take a shot. They may have to get a command call from someone telling them yes, it's okay to take it or not. So we don't really know their ROE right now. Um, so and it's just speculation, and we probably won't know. Maybe we will. Maybe it'll come out later. Another thing that I want to point out too is that you have the police department there, and you have Secret Service, and are they on the same frequency? Like, were they working together? Like, could the police radio work in with the Secret Service? And I don't believe that that would be the case, I would think they would have their own standalone frequencies that they work off of and command posts. So basically, the police would have to radio in at their headquarters. Police headquarters would have to radio into the Secret Service headquarters, and they would have to radio the sniper team. Which, like I said, that's a lot of moving parts here, guys. That is a lot of moving parts. Why they weren't on the same frequency, I don't know. But I mean, I think that's a question to ask. So I think that's just something to pay attention to. And another thing, I mean, I think the director of the Secret Service is Kimberly Cheadle. Um, and I don't know when she was hired in. I haven't got that information yet, but supposedly she was in charge of Pepsi security before she got hired in for this detail to protect for the Secret Service. So yeah, another thing, some more information on this, guys, is that the shooter actually was a donated to progressive left-leaning politics, and also that I find it funny that the shooter's computer and social media was actually being scrubbed after the shooting. So I find that really suspicious, and I have questions about that. I think that's something that needs to be answered. You know, I think these questions should be asked, and I think they should need to come up with answers for them. And his phone supposedly couldn't be accessed by hackers, and they can't get through the bypass, or they can't bypass it. Which, like I said, all of these things are adding up, and it's real fishy. Like with you really can't get a lot of information, and it really doesn't. A lot of things are not adding up. So, like I said, I thought I should bring this to y'all attention. And guys, regardless of what you think about this man, regardless of how you feel about his political background or his politics or whatever, I mean, let's just remember, like, they tried to take this guy's business first, and they tried to take his home in Mar-a-Lago. They tried to get him on the assault of E. Carroll, like from 20 plus years ago. They tried to impeach this man for not sending money to Ukraine. Um, they tried to crucify this man through the media, you know, and the guy's still resilient. He's still resilient. Now this guy has been through a lot, and I think no matter what um, we go through in life, we can learn something from this man. And I think it's just never give up on something that you believe in. And I believe that this man believes that this country can be great. And I think that, and in seeing his reaction and what he was willing to do after the moment that this happened, I think it's legendary. And like I said, I think we can learn something from this. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I really appreciate y'all tuning in today. And if I get any updates, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna share them with y'all. Look for the next episode here in the future. I'm gonna try to be putting up things daily, try to. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. And like I said, tell your neighbor you love them, you know, because we have one of the greatest countries in the world, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.